Hello everyone, this is Maureen and welcome in to another day of learning how to pray through the darkness. I want to talk about how wonderful technology is these days. You know, it wasn't too long ago, back, I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe 50, 75, maybe even as far as 100 years ago. No, maybe not 100. But anyway, you'll get my point here in just a second. Technology has advanced to the point where if someone loses their hand, for many, many years, there was just that claw-like apparatus, and it strapped up your arm and maybe even into your shoulder, and you learned how to use that claw. And not that there's anything wrong with it. In fact, there's many people still today that use that apparatus so that they still, have basically two hands with which to work with. But technology has advanced to the point now where we can have a complete robotic hand attached to our arms and learn to function, to read our neurological pathways that control our limbs and our fingers. The same can be true with folks that lose a leg, part of a leg, an ankle. We have just come so far in being able to replace some body parts that allow us to still be mobile, to still feel like that we are whole, so to speak. But is it the same kind of wholeness that we find whenever we are in a spiritual crisis, when we feel like that we've lost a part of our belief, our security in the knowledge that God does love us, that He hears us? Well, today we're going to talk about the glory that is coming. In Philippians chapter 3, verse 21, we hear these words: He will take our weak, mortal bodies and change them into glorious bodies like His own, using the same power with which He will bring everything under His control. Now think about that. No matter what our body is going through right now, our spiritual body is what is of most concern to God. He can take any area of our spiritual life and bring it to perfection. He can help us to clean out all the ugly, so to speak, and make it new, make it functional, make it where we can be spiritual. So just as we have developed through technology the way to help those that have lost a limb or even a finger or a leg to cope with taking on mechanical parts, a robotic arm or a leg, a prosthesis of some sort, and allow it to take the place of what was damaged or even that had to be removed to make us physically whole again. God does the same thing through the use of the Holy Spirit when we come to Him and say, I'm struggling. I don't feel complete. Something's wrong, God. Can you help me to cut away that part of my spiritual life that is hindering me, that is holding me down, that is not allowing me to be productive? And guys, God will do it. Sometimes it's going to take a little bit of hurt and pain on our part, because when we come to God and say, I need for you to fix me, He's going to fix me. He is. We may not enjoy the process, but it's the end result that we need to look forward to. Becoming normal for Him, becoming whole for Him. Just as those that are fortunate enough to be made whole again by replacement parts or technology that allows them to cope and move on with their lives, we have to be just as willing to adjust, to take on what it is that God needs to cut away and replace so that we can be glorified once again before Him and carry on what it is that He has in mind for our lives. There is no escaping the mortality of my body, Father. Thankfully, my ultimate hope is not in my health in this life. When sickness saps my strength and steals my ambition, it can be difficult to adjust my mind. But you are my healer, and this is true in every stage of my life. Even when you don't heal, you are still as good as you ever were. The fundamental, confident expectation of my faith is that you will raise me to everlasting life, just as Jesus was raised with a glorified body, no longer confined to the mortality of his limited form. I will be changed once and for all in your power in the resurrection of my body. Whether I am weak or strong, I will one day be faultless in every way. And what a glorious hope to look forward to. Holy One, my firm hope is in the coming glory of eternity with you. I know that life now is full of its ups and downs, victories and failures, but with you by my side, I can face it all. For you empower me to live with hope, and even when that falters, Father, I know that you will never fail. Isn't that wonderful? Even though we stumble, God is there to pick us up. Even though we allow the chaos, the energies around us that wish to encompass us in darkness, God's right there. He is just waiting for us to cry out and say, Father, boom, He's there. And He already knows what it is that we need. He is just waiting for us to ask. And that's all we have to do, is just ask. And He will make us whole again. He will give us the strength, the energy, and the power to move forward in the ways that He has designed for our lives. Thank you all so much once again for joining me today to hear these wonderful words that come to us from this little blue book that's put out by Broad Street Publishers. Now remember, there is a link for you down in the description box. All you have to do is go and click on it if you're looking for a devotional book, 365 days, folks, one for every day, that gives you some words of encouragement to let you know that you're not alone, that you don't have to allow stress, anxiety, chaos of the world to tear you down, because all we have to be reminded of is that we are a child of God. We have the most powerful, wonderful, loving Father right there in our camp. We shouldn't have to worry about anything else, because that's not what He designed us for. Thank you all again so much for being here. Please don't forget to hit that like button. And if you know of someone who needs to hear these words today, not because they're mine, but because they were chosen for all of us to hear, please be sure and share this video out. I know that they would appreciate it, and I will too. If this was your first time here, I do hope that you stayed this far. And if you did, I'm so happy for you. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button and look for the bell with those cute little hugs on the side, because it will let you know every time I upload content. Remember, chaos brings about destruction, but the peace that comes from relying on God's direction, His love and His mercy can dispel it. So always, always call on Him. And don't forget, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.